Hello and welcome to another horror game by Frictional Games. This is quite an old one actually. It's Penumbra Overture. I believe I watched somebody play this years ago. The only thing I remember of it is eventually I get a voice in my head and his name is Red. That's about all I remember. I've installed a reshade because I wanted to have some MXAO. Let's begin.
For my part in this allegory, I'm not going to make the same mistakes my father made. Howard vanished from my mother's life before I was even in it, so when he sent me a letter a few days after Mum's funeral, it was the first I'd ever heard from him. But he was dead. Writing from beyond the grave must be a genetic habit in my bloodline. His letter contained a key, instructions, pleas for forgiveness. I figured the dead don't have much use for absolutions, so I turned to his prophetic passing, which he inexplicably expected to come any day. Clearly averse to explanations, my father preferred to leave directions to a bank on Mayfair I'd never even heard of. In that bank was a safety deposit box in his name, and myself as executor. Of course, I went as he knew I would. I discovered that despite the evidence, he'd been legally declared dead almost 30 years ago, and so the old book and collection of notes I found had, in the eyes of the law, been mine all this time. My father's instructions were to burn the documents, raise no further questions. But that was his error. No man's immune to the shameful trappings of curiosity, and my humanity got the better of me.
Need to turn the volume up.
The university I taught at was world renowned for two things: physics and linguistics. I represented the first, and the man who stood for the second was stumped by my recent acquisition. The book was indecipherable. The notes, however, showed a location somewhere in uninhabited northern Greenland.
I do remember that part, the Greenland part.
To book the last flight I'd ever taken. As I watched civilization disappear along with Heathrow, I realised my father had disappeared 3 decades ago, almost to the day, and I considered in turn what it was that I was leaving behind. We landed on a strip of ice a few feet wide, and within minutes I was pulling away on a chartered boat, beginning a 12-hour journey that would lead me into my past.
Hold that thought. Finally, we're almost docked. I'd better stow my gear. I may be far from home, but chances are I can still pick things up using left mouse, and I can take a closer look at things using right mouse. Oh god. Oh god, I think I need to... Oh, there we go. Alright, MXAO should not be turned on in this game. But what should be turned on is my mouse sensitivity. God, it's really... Crew seemed friendly enough, but just in case, I locked up my valuables. I'm pretty sure the key's in my inventory somewhere. Once I found it, double-clicking the left mouse button should get it selected. Then I can press interact on the padlock to unlock it. Wait, if it's a padlock, then why do I need a key? Or is a padlock different from a combination lock? Soup, 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 soup. Always good to have a notebook. Jot down interesting information and reminders. I think I left my torch in the desk drawer next to the bed. It can be opened using my left mouse on it, holding the button down and moving the mouse. Ah yes, some delicious... No, my Jack Daniels! No! No! That was my only way of keeping sane. Oh, I found another bottle. Damn it. I blame you, Soup. Dearest Eric, just a quick note before you set sail and leave me once again. I left you a little something to remember me by in the chest at the foot of your bed. I really don't know why you still only have one bed on board. Taking shifts because of it is no way to get your rest. But what does a fisherman's wife know of life at sea? I'll be praying every night for you to make the catch you need, so that you can come home to me safe. I'm sorry, I'm still recovering from eye surgery, so seeing ain't too good. Please don't be gone for 5 weeks like last time. I know I might nag sometimes, but I do love you, you know. I've washed those overalls of yours. I know you'll get them covered in assorted fish parts in no time, but I still feel better knowing they've had a wash. Before I forget, Henriksons in the village have asked me to see if you'll be coming by any trout, but I said they were mostly out of season. If you do happen upon any, don't say anything. Fill them well in the ice, and you'll do something special with them to celebrate when you come home to me. Ship's captain deserves a little special treatment once in a while. Take care, my love. From the spell, I'd say there's an equal chance they use this chest for personal belongings or bait. Buckets! Pretty odorous. Glad I'm getting out of here soon. They must eat and sleep, and, well, do everything else in this one room. Yo. I mean, I imagine they do that there, but I didn't need to know that. Now, where's that emergency glow stick? Should still be in the locker. Keys in my inventory. Ah. I'm certain this map's a good decade or so out of date, but landmarks don't change much in Greenland, so I've got a pretty decent idea of where I'm heading. Alright, you're coming with me for safety. Never mind. I can't take her through the door. As I stepped off the boat, setting out into the blizzard that had formed around me, I realized how utterly devoted I'd been to the discovery of my father's past. I had no idea what to expect. Soon enough, my concerns were justified. I don't know whether I lost my orientation or my spirit first, but I lost feeling in my extremities soon after. I knew hypothermia was setting in. I started looking for shelter. Oh, cold. I don't know where I am. Need shelter soon. Oh, what was that? Frozen solid. Must break. Ice. Oh god. Alright, off SMAA. And see if that fixes it. Oh. I bashed the lock against it, that's how. Is there a rock back here? Aha, rocks! I don't know what's causing that, but I have a feeling it's not reshade. Jesus, my head. I can't believe I fell that far and survived. But looking at... Alright, fine, I won't read it. A heavy-looking wooden barrel. Could be anything inside. Turn SMAA back on. Steel rod. Basic wooden door. Empty boxes of ammunition. What is this place? Hey, I got one of these in my room. Found it at a garage sale. $3. Let's see. I can swing this hammer if I hold left mouse. I can make a backswing by pulling the mouse right. Then follow through by pushing left. The opposite works too. Pulling back, then thrusting forward produces a stabbing motion. I reckon if I hold down right mouse after a backswing, I should still be able to look around. Shells are as old as everything else around here. Could do over... Excuse me. Could be over 50 years since anyone's been down here. Barrel! Flare. Aha! Eh? Oh. I can break open barrels and find stuff. Hey. Look what I found. Oh, they both take me over here. Okay. Like some kind of industrial mechanism. Although there's a hole in the center. No way to operate it. This hatch is seriously solid. It won't open by hand. Someone obviously wanted to keep people out. Aha! This is a weird mechanism. Oof. Whatever I was descending into, 100 feet below ground, protected by 2 solid metal hatches, located in a remote Arctic wilderness and buried deep beneath the snow. I didn't know what to expect. It made me feel something I hadn't felt since I was a child. I'd never given it much thought before, but I realized that our entire society is a network of safety nets, emergency services at the end of a phone line, health and safety in the workplace, friends, family, lovers. All there if something goes wrong. Part of a carefully designed structure to prevent all but the most mundane of emotions. Once again, I felt like I did when I was in school, surrounded by a closing ring of older kids, knowing anyone that might help me. Friends, parents, teachers who were too scared, too far away. Out. Could be anything living down here. Heroics are for Hollywood actors and fairy tales. I'm not taking any chances. If I face off against anything down here, I won't last a second. Caution and stealth are my only defenses now. If anyone or anything hears me, I'd be best off staying low and out of sight until I know whether or not it's a threat. Crouching by pressing left control will give me a chance to hide in the shadows. I'll know I've got it right because of the blue tint in my vision. How does he know this? Plus, I should be quiet enough that I won't be heard unless something's right on top of me. Better remember to shut off any light sources, though. You know what I should do? I should turn on my face cam. Give me a sec. There we go. I need to zoom it in. That would require a tab out, though. Oh well. Not as heavy as it looks. Still should serve some form of weapon if I have to defend myself. I will defend myself with the metal barrel. Rock. Place must be old if they were still using paraffin lamps. Like there's still some juice left. I don't have any way of lighting it, so... Give me your goodies. Yeah, that's solid. Office. What's in the office? Beef jerky. I wonder what that's for. God, I wonder how old it is. You know, I don't want to know how old this beef jerky is, actually. All I know is it's probably going to kill me if I try and eat it. More of it. August 1945. Man bunker. Emergency airstrip Zulu. Weekly report. Another unremarkable week in Greenland. Regular supply shipment received. Standard emergency drills carried out. Routine runway maintenance completed. I've ordered maintenance to be carried out twice weekly from here on in, due to increased snowfall. 1 wounded. The 1 wounded figure is no cause for concern back in London. Germans haven't extended their front line by 4,000 miles. 2 of my men were caught manufacturing cherry bombs in our workshop/armory. Succeeded in blowing off a couple of fingers. I take partial responsibility for this, in that I allowed them access to the demolitions manual we keep in the storeroom, and I'm sure that's where they learned the ingredients. As a precautionary measure, I have now locked up that manual in the chest in my office, and will keep the key on my person at all times. Needless to say, both men have been disciplined, and the injured man has been sent home for medical care. I cannot help but think that a more suitable punishment would have been for him to stay out here, but the matter is out of my hands. Base is so disconnected sometimes, I feel as if this war could end. We might not even hear about it out here. Fire requisition orders, blah blah blah. Reconditioning of the mine continues to progress. Structure is being fortified from potential bomb damage, and excavation of previously caved-in areas is going ahead. One point of curiosity is some kind of archaeological find. An artifact buried in the earth, discovered by one of the work teams. Later this evening, after martial duty, I shall take a closer look at the artifact. It appears to be man-made. It may have working parts inside. I shall remove what looks like the front cover and see if I can't discover the source of the light which constantly emanates from it. Chief MXAO, M. Major. Baxtrin. Delicious. Oh, Jesus Christ, another note. So much reading in this. Copenhagen Post, Monday, 17th August, 1930. Psychotropic deposits at the bottom of Death Mine? Researchers at the University of Copenhagen have suggested that mind-altering chemicals naturally sown into the rock may be the cause of high suicide rates at a Greenland mine. Mine? The university, which has recently been conducting studies into isolated communities, first became interested in the workers of the northwestern lead mine last year. They discovered that, even taking into account Greenland's naturally higher suicide rate, local figures for the past 100 years were abnormally high, at 46 deaths per 100,000 populace, compared to the national average of 29. On further investigation, experts diagnosed, in many of the miners, symptoms in common with the earlier stages of paranoid schizophrenia. This has prompted researchers to hypothesize that natural deposits of lysergic acid, pH4 formula recently discovered to have hallucinogenic properties, may be present in the rocks. Few locals were conducive to the interview, but those who agreed to speak had their own explanation. Inuit spirit, known as the Turgite? Can't tell what letter that last one is. Live in the mountains. The university is waiting the results of chemical testing studies to continue. There we go. Why does it whenever there's a fade, it just shows the hatch flashing constantly? A man, an old man, clutching something unseen. He's strange, yet he's no stranger. Never seen before. Still, I know. This man before me is Howard. I call him Father. Yeah, what is that? What the fuck? I'm gonna call that a bug. This game is old. It's from like the early to mid 2000s, so. What the hell happened? I don't know if that was such a good idea. Batteries! Alright, let's open that chest. Big Book of Explosives, 1923 edition. Hey, I have Baxtion. I just need black powder and string. I'm assuming I'm gonna have to make those explosives.